What's up, LEGO fans? Pete's Bricks here, and welcome to my channel, the Common LEGO channel for the Common LEGO fan. And boy, do I have some LEGO news that will greatly affect the Common LEGO fan. As you may know, the popular LEGO website Brickset has recently published an article listing some of the price increases on LEGO sets in the US. That's impossible! It's common knowledge by now that LEGO is increasing the prices across, well, every single theme and every single set. I did not know that they were increasing the prices on sets that are currently on store shelves. That's right, starting I think in August, most LEGO sets that are on store shelves that have been out for months are going to be raised by at least $10 or so. If you don't know, Brickset is probably the most popular LEGO website of all time. They do LEGO reviews and news on LEGO things that are happening in the world. So today we are going to be going over the price increases and the comment. While this is a pretty depressing video, I'd say pretty sad day for LEGO fans, this is the first comment section video I'm going to be making. I have not come up with a title. Let me know in the comments. Do I call this a comment section? Do I call it comments on Brickset with Pete's Bricks? Not sure yet, but I kind of wanted to use this giant LEGO walkie-talkie as part of this, maybe like comment section. Maybe this is like the thumbnail. I'm not sure. But without further ado, we are going to check out those price increases and have a look at people's comments on Brickset. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just look at some of the price increases. I'm going to put them all up right on the screen, and I'm just going to pick up a few that kind of interest me, just as examples. So in Harry Potter, you can see a lot of the cheaper ones just go up by $10. Well, I say cheap, I mean relatively cheap, right? $60 is by far not cheap. But we go from $60 to $65 in the Hogwarts Magical Trunk, or we go from $80 to $90 in the Hogsmeade Village Visit. But beware, the more expensive the sets seem to be, the more they increase in price. And I don't think it's proportional. Take the $400 Hogwarts Castle, for example. That castle is going to raise from $400 to $470, which feels pretty insane. Moving on to LEGO Icons, which is formerly the 18+ range, intended for adults. You have the Boutique Hotel from $200 to $230, and the Porsche 911 from $150 to $170. Taking a look at LEGO Ideas, the Home Alone house is going from $250 to $300, which makes me kind of sad because that is a set I really wanted to get. At $300, I don't know, that's a pretty big pill to swallow. $300 for that. $250 is already a lot, so I'm probably not going to end up buying that set. Looking at Star Wars is already very expensive, and they're just making it more expensive. The $800 AT-AT will be now $850. The Millennium Falcon's going from $160 to $170. The Darth Vader helmet from $70 to $80. And the Imperial TIE Fighter from $40 to $44.99. Taking a look at some superhero sets, again you have some $10 increases, like the $69.99 Venom to $79.99, but then you have the Batmobile Tumbler for $230 is going up to $270. Finally, looking at some Technic sets, you have the BMW going for $230 right now, it'll be $250. Then you have the Lamborghini Sion from $380, that's going to be $450. So those are some of the price increases, as you can see, but the main point of this type of video that I'm doing with the comments is just to see what other people think and to react to those comments. So let's jump right into those comments right now. I'm not sure does this make sense to you guys, having this walkie-talkie comments like they're phoning into me? I'm not sure. Anyway, let's get to those comments. So the first comment is by Salty Bone from the United States, and he pretty much sums up the situation with one word: oof. Oof indeed, Salty Bone. Oof indeed. By Big Jar from the United Kingdom, he says, wow, some of these are eye-watering. Not many of these on my want list, thankfully, and some predominantly bigger sets and licensed ones in particular. Very interesting. Wonder what the damage in the UK will be. So, as I mentioned before, these are the USA prices, though LEGO is increasing in price across the globe. I'm not sure if this is a fact, but I've heard it before from different LEGO sources. that Lego in the US is a lot cheaper than it is around the world. That reason being that US fans are not willing to pay as much as Lego fans in other countries. Not sure if that's true. If you're not from the United States, you can kind of look at these prices and kind of convert it in your head to see about how much it'll increase in your country, at least this much, if not more. Peter X from the Netherlands. Hey, another Peter. Peter X says, I have become much more deliberate in my purchases and buy way less than I used to. Day one purchases, which if you don't know, are when something comes out on the first day it's released. People buy it right away because they really want it. Day one purchases are no longer standard, but reserved for sets that wow me, like the Starry Night. I am fortunate to still be able to purchase the Lego I want, but I find myself less and less inclined to keep spending hundreds of euros on sets. Pricing is certainly a contributing factor in this. This sort of sentiment I feel throughout all these comments. People are saying they're just going to buy less Lego and buy what they really want. The problem for some Lego fans, myself included, is that I kind of want everything. I like everything, right? I never buy everything, but it's kind of hard. It's very tempting to like want everything. I think money is definitely going to motivate Lego fans to finally kind of put that into practice and to just buy the few sets that they really, really want. All right, here we have kind of a long comment by Boo the Mighty Hamster from the United Kingdom. He says, I'll be cutting way back on what I buy from Lego from now on. The prices have gone from really expensive to scarcely believable. Given that the Lego Group announced record profits this year, I'd be interested in understanding their long-term aims that require even more cash flow. I know there's a $1 billion plant in Virginia, USA in the pipeline, which is true. They are building a brand new Lego plant in Virginia, but I can't help thinking that an ever-expanding range of themes combined with price rises is going to lead sooner or later to the sort of troubles we saw in the early 2000s. Now here's a brief Lego history lesson. In the early 2000s, the Lego Group almost had to file for bankruptcy. Thankfully, themes like Lego Star Wars and Bionicle saved the Lego Group from bankruptcy. Boo the Mighty Hamster, that's his username, continues. There's a limited and shrinking pool of disposable income that consumers have to spend on Lego. While every new range incurs development costs, new molds, etc. The wider the range of sets, the less the economies of scale become a factor. I see a radical rationalization in the next few years, driven by dramatically shrinking sales. Or maybe we'll all keep buying Lego and just cut down on the other stuff, like food. Yeah, who needs food when you can buy tons of plastic Lego toys? That was kind of a joke by this guy. I agree with everything he said. I hope that Lego doesn't go bankrupt. I don't see them going bankrupt. There are plenty of people with a lot of money who spend money on Lego. Lego has definitely been moving a lot of their sets towards adults who are, I guess, rich. Right, no child is buying an $800 Millennium Falcon. No average Lego fan is buying an $800 Millennium Falcon. But sets like that do exist now, and they exist in bigger proportion than they ever have. That being said, I think Lego sales will be affected by this. And I think people, especially with things how are in the economy, are just going to spend less on Lego. Corkscrew Brick 36 from the United States says, this makes me angry. None of these are even remotely reasonable. I wanted to buy 75288 and now I have to save $20 more. I hope this affects Lego so negatively that they come to their senses, but until then, I'm done. Corkscrew Bricks 38 makes a great point. In order for this to affect Lego, yes, you, I'm looking at you, Lego fan. You have to not buy as much Lego as you have before. Well, I think a lot of people will just do that because they have more important things to spend their money on. I think many people are still going to pay the high prices regardless, right? You have YouTubers, Lego YouTubers, where buying sets and reviewing them, that's their job. They're not going to stop doing that. You have these collectors who have this need to buy everything. I don't think that they're going to stop. That being said, I don't think these collectors or Lego YouTubers or crazy Lego fans are enough to keep the Lego Group as a company running. I think Lego needs a lot of just average consumers to keep going. And your average consumer is just not going to spend as much money on Lego because of the current economic situation. Now we have a comment by Leobros from Chechnya. Am I saying that correctly? I apologize for saying that wrong. In response to Boo the Mighty Hamster's comment on the raising prices, he says, because they can. It is the same with Apple. Apple is one of the companies which can increase prices even if there is practically recession and inflation skyrocketed. There are many fancy words covering this customer behavior, but I simply call such customers sheeple. Well, it turns out Leobros is based. The power is in people's hands, but it is very rarely used. Big facts from Leobros from Chechnya. I think I said that wrong. Again, sorry, but this is big facts, right? If you complain about Lego being expensive a lot of the time, you don't have to buy it, right? Vote with your wallet. If this is just Lego going over the edge, right? If this is just too crazy for you to handle, them raising the prices so much, stop buying Lego. Or my suggestion is what I'm going to do. Just buy the Lego sets that you really want. Bricky13 from Australia says, if production costs are going up across the board, wouldn't that be reflected in a consistent price rise across the entire range of products instead of what we're seeing here? I definitely agree with this. I don't think it's like 5% across everything. As you can see, some sets are more expensive than others, proportionally. Bricky continues, surely the contents of the set would play a factor, but do the green pieces in the Lambo really cost that much to make? How is the Hogwarts castle going up by so much more, but the UCS AT-AT is going up comparatively little? I don't know. Well, I'm aware of the economic situation we're in, but some of these just scream pure greed to me. Again, I'm seeing this through all the comments, people accusing Lego of being greedy. Another comment by Nature Bricks from the US, maybe if the Lego cult community stopped making excuses for this and every other awful thing Lego has done recently, this would not be happening. Sadly, people will still buy sets and Lego gets its way. I think there is some truth to this comment, though, you know, I'm still gonna buy sets. A lot of people are still gonna buy sets, but we're not going to buy as many sets. I think a lot of people do like to complain about Lego. I don't really see this Lego cult community. People defend Lego in terms of design, maybe decisions they make, but when it comes to price increases, right, it affects everybody. Everyone is affected by money. Everyone understands money. I think a good amount of people are not going to buy as many Lego sets as they did before. A comment by Vindicare from the United States says, well, goodbye some purchases. Need to make sure I can buy the modular day one. Lego is going to lose so much money on this, I bet. Honestly, I hope they do. Maybe they'll rethink stupid decisions like this. Again, a lot of people I think share the same view. As I was talking about buying just sets that you want, the modular buildings are the kind of large Lego creator expert building. I have quite a few in my city. I think I have about 5 in my city, maybe 6 if you include the big Ninjago building. Modular buildings have a big fan base and people really like them. As you can see here, he mentions how he's going to buy, he mentions that he's not going to buy other sets so that he can make sure that he gets the modular buildings. This is prioritizing sets that you really want and not buying sets that you really don't want because the prices are going to be insane. Finally, the last comment we're going to be looking at is by Mr. Bob from the United States. He says, ah yes, drastically increasing the cost of already overpriced luxury non-essential goods on the eve of a massive global financial recession. What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong indeed? Let me know in the comments. Will you be buying less Lego than you have before? Will you be cutting out Lego altogether? Let me know in the comments what you think of these price increases. I will respond to all the comments that you guys post. Make sure to give my video a thumbs up and most importantly, subscribe so that we can keep growing this channel and I can make more videos like this. As I mentioned before, this is going to be a recurring series where I respond to Brickset comments. Brickset comments are always an interesting place to see perspectives from all over the world. I'm not sure what I'm going to call this series. I guess you'll find out when you see the thumbnail and the title of this video. Well, with that being said, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you guys next Wednesday for a brand new Lego video.